Hey friends, it's Betsy from the blog of flourishingplace.com, and in today's video we are talking all about family photo organization. Like I mentioned, my name is Betsy. I have a wonderful husband and two small kiddos. In the digital age that we are in, the photos are just endless. And before you know it, you are just overwhelmed with all of the photos you have. You don't know how to organize them. They're just piling up. You can't find stuff, and I have definitely been there. My husband and I kind of had to work through an organizational process for how to keep track of our photos, how to keep track of our videos, and how we were going to organize those so that we could both kind of do a system that works for us. So I'm basically just today going to take you through the system that we use. It's pretty broad, it's pretty general, and we use kind of a big bucket system, and I will kind of show you what I mean as I talk about it. But this is something that, as we have been taking lots of photos and wanting to save a lot of photos, kind of talking through how we can organize things in a way that they can be found easily, how to make sure that we feel good about our storage so that if something were to happen, God forbid our house were to burn down or something, we would be able to know that our wedding photos are safe, the photos of our kids growing up are safe, and we wouldn't be concerned about losing all of that. So basically, I'll take you through how we organize them first. We have on an external hard drive, we have folders that say family photos. And then when you click on that folder, the folders inside just go by year. So family photos, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. Inside those folders each year, say you click on 2019, you are just going to click in there, and then you will find a ton of photos in there with one additional folder. And that one additional folder is labeled Best of 2019. So for all of our photos, we organize them, and this is what I mean by saying big buckets. Our big buckets are years. So the big bucket of 2019, big bucket of 2020, so on and so forth. And then within those big kind of bucket folders, we have one additional folder that says the best of that year. Now, way back when I was starting to organize photos, I started by doing the year, and then I would go down to the season or the month or special events or vacations, and then I would break it all out in these little smaller folders. Now, while it is true that you could certainly find things more easily, I have mentioned before that I'm a lazy person, and this remains true in the area of photo organization. I just cannot sustain a system like that. I do not have either the time or the desire to go in and make all these separate little folders for the 12 months of the year or for the special events of the year or whatever. So we just dump. That's the honest truth. We dump them in that folder that is labeled for the year. Now, I did mention that we have that additional folder that says best of, fill in the blank on the year. That folder is where we will take the time, if there are particular photos through the year that were very special to us, photos from a certain event or a certain photo that one of us got that was just really good, like, a good one of the kids, which is hard to get sometimes, we go ahead and throw it in that folder. So that way we have a folder going that is kind of the cream of the crop, it's kind of the best of the photos for that year. Now, I know that some people have things set up where stuff automatically gets moved from their phone, automatically back up or automatically download, and that's great. And we did have the option to do that early on, and we both decided that we wanted to do it manually. I don't want everything just automatically moved without me having the chance to go through it first. For our phones, we both kind of like to go through and sort of delete photos before we just dump all the photos that are on our phone into an external hard drive or whatever. We like to just go through it because you know how it is. You have a photo of your kids or your pet or whatever that's super adorable, and it's, it's frameable. And then you go to the next photo on your roll, and it's a photo of a price tag at the grocery store. And so I think it's really important for me to just be able to go through and kind of weed out everything that I don't want to keep and that I don't need anymore, and that saves obviously a ton of space. Now, I know a lot of phones, smartphones and stuff, they come with backup storage, cloud storage, where things just automatically back up for you. And so it's like, well, I just do that. You just have it automatically back up from your phone and back up to the cloud storage, and then you don't even think about it. And that's great, and that's definitely an option. And I am not gonna be the person to argue that there is one right way to do this. There are 1,001 ways to do this, but this is just the way that we do it. We decided for storage space that we wanted to use an external hard drive and we wanted to use one online cloud storage drive. So we do have an online cloud storage source that we use, and then we have an external hard drive. And so we have two separate spots where we keep all of our photos. So basically those are kind of the two main pillars of family photo organization for us. We organize photos based on year, and then within that year folder of photos, we have a folder that is labeled best of that year. Secondly, for photo storage, we use an external hard drive, which works great. And then as backup, we have an online cloud storage service that we use. Last thing I wanted to talk about regarding family photo organization is just scrapbooks or photo books. So if you're like me, you hear the word scrapbooking and you're like, oh no, I don't like scrapbooking. It is not relaxing for me. It feels like a huge burden. And I am a creative person. I enjoy making cards and doing some crafty things, but scrapbooking is just one of those things that for whatever reason stresses me out. And so I will just kind of tell you what I do and how I have decided to deal with family photos, package them as keepsakes so that we can enjoy them and look at them while also not overburdening myself and beating myself up for not being the perfect scrapbooking mom. And if you do scrapbook, that's awesome. And if it's something you love to do, I think that's great and that's wonderful. I'm not trying to poke fun in any way. That is just something for me that is not one of my favorite things. So here's what I have done. I have decided that for our children's baby books, I do print photos out and I glue them in there, tape them in there the old-fashioned way, like a scrapbook. That is the one exception to the no scrapbooking rule that I have. Baby books are kind of one of those special things that is just something that I feel like I want our kids to be able to carry into their adult life. I'm not sure how much they'll want to look at it, maybe a little bit, maybe a lot, I don't know, or maybe not at all. But I want it to be there for them, and I enjoy looking back on the photos of how they have grown and changed over the months. And so their baby books are one area where I make an exception to the no scrapbooking rule. I will say though, I don't go overboard. I stick photos in there that correspond to whatever the fill in the blank is on the page, and sometimes I will write a little something, but I don't worry about it. If there's blanks in there, if there's things that are not filled in, if there's stuff that I forget to fill in, or it's been too long and I forgot by the time I'm trying to catch up on their baby book pages, I don't worry about it. It's the most important thing is for them to be able to flip through it as they get older, just kind of see how they grew as a baby and a few fun memories from mom and dad. And so that is kind of where I've come to with baby books. Those are the only scrapbooks that I really keep, and they're fairly minimal. So what about the rest of family photos? What I have decided to do, and I actually started doing this fairly early in our marriage, was I just made one photo book of our family photos for the year. So I would go on one of the, photo book websites, take your pick. They all do photo books nowadays. So look for a good sale, grab that and make a photo book. So what I would do is make a family photo book for the year. So 2017, 2018, 2019, whatever. Gather some favorite photos from that year. And this is where that folder, the best of 2019, best of 2020, whatever, that's where that folder comes in, because oftentimes the photos that we would want to put in a photo book are in that folder. And so I'm not left trying to sort through thousands of photos from the year. I can go to that folder first and then put a photo book together. If there's any little gaps I want to fill in or things that are missing, then I can kind of go looking and see what else I can find in the bigger folder. But that small folder usually goes quite a long way in getting our photo book filled out. So in that photo book, it's, family vacations or big events that happened, birthdays, when we bought our first house, that's in one of our photo books, that kind of thing. And I have to tell you, it is so wonderful. I will sit down several times throughout the year, honestly, and just just browse through those books and see, what were we doing in 2016? What were we doing in 2018? And some of the just beautiful memories of those years. And I don't just put all the fun, happy, shiny stuff. There's sometimes, you know, I will put a little photo record of something, you know, if there was a hospital visit or if there was, you know, things that were just kind of a challenge during that year, I will include those in the photo book as well, because more than it being just kind of a highlight reel, I really want it to be a record of what happened in our family that year. And my grandparents passed away both in the same year, one of the years since I've started doing these photo books. And so being able to just mark that and remember them in that book is has just proven to be a really special thing. And so that's something that I am going to continue. And usually what I will do is I will make that photo book after the year is already over. So 2020's photo book is made in 2021 because I like to be able to go all the way to the end of the year in that photo book, because there's usually some Christmas photos that we want to include as well. Some of you might be wondering, what about your kids? You know, if you have just one photo book for the year for the entire family, what about your kids being able to take photos of them through their growing up with them when they move out or into adulthood? And it's a good point. I would just say for me, this is kind of the size that my plate is. You know what I'm saying when I say we all have a different size of plate. And for me, a full plate in this area of family photo organization and putting photos together in a book is doing the kids' baby books and doing one family photo album per year. And that is what's doable for me. That has proven to be something that I can sustain through the busyness of life. When times get crazy, ups and downs, I am still always able to get a yearly photo album done, and I'm able to keep up, for the most part, with the kids' baby books. I would just encourage you, if you have not started doing any form of a photo album, something physical that you can look through in your hands. Like I said, it's okay if you don't scrapbook. I am not a scrapbooker, but even just a photo book, these things, and I'm talking about physical copies, it is so precious to be able to have those. When people come over, they love looking through them. Like I said, we look through them. I don't know how many times I've looked through the photo books that we have. And it is just so precious to have something that is a physical copy that you can look at. And the honest truth is that we just don't often go back and look through these folders and folders of photos on our laptops. We love them, that's why we've kept them, but that's not a great way to look at photos. And it's honestly just not, you don't usually sit down and say, oh, I'm gonna sit on my computer and look through photos tonight. It just means so much to be able to have a physical something to hold in your hands and look through. And that honestly, in a lot of ways, becomes the record for us of that year. What happened that year? We only have so much capacity. And so one of the downsides that has come with digital photography is just being inundated with so many photos. Our parents would have maybe, you know, little boxes of photos that they needed to put in an album, you know, in the garage or whatever. We have these digital piles of photos that are just sitting stacked on hard drives and on our computer and in cloud storage, and those photos aren't being enjoyed. And so something that I have found that is really helpful for me is just to take that time once a year, sit down, make a photo book from the previous year. So that's basically all I have for today with regard to family photo organization. If you keep it simple, it will stay sustainable. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned with organizing family photos. If you keep your system simple, it will remain sustainable and you will be able to keep your photos organized long term. I hope this was an encouragement for you. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I make videos on this channel all about decluttering and organizing and creating beauty in your home on a budget, and I will see you next time.